What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And of course, I'm from the WiseTake Nation, which you could find on all the social media platforms listed above, directly at WiseTake.com. If you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level, we are a premium DFS content provider, as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out at WiseTake.com. Day Pass is available if you want to try us out. That being said, if you're new to this channel, welcome. You've come to the right place with some free fire DFS content. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't miss out on any of the free content we put out Monday through Friday. Currently covering slate, MLB slates Monday through Friday. At the moment, we will be covering NFL, which is right around the corner, NBA, all that good shit. So make sure, got the notifications bell turned on. You don't miss out on any of the free shit we put out there. 8-game slate. It's really 2 slates, right? We're going to talk about the night slate, the main slate. We're going to cover that at wisetake.com as well. But we got a couple of slates. We'll see if maybe if the early slate's any good, maybe we'll pop into the Slack chat for those of you who have access. We shall see. But anyway, we'll get right into it. I'm not going to waste time on this one. Should be a relatively quick show, I think. But it's a weird slate. Lance McCullers, I would imagine, is going to lead the way in terms of cash games, right? SP1 and cash games. His numbers aren't the best on the slate, but the matchup, one of the best on the slate against Cleveland. Cleveland put out a lineup. The lineup Cleveland put out against Luis Garcia was like ridiculously strikeout heavy. We always take a look at the strikeout rates. We saw Cleveland's wasn't massive, but it's kind of on the rise. That's why, because they're banged up and they're putting motherfuckers out there who strike out a ton. So I'm going to keep that in mind. So Lance McCullers, I think, will be a very popular SP1 in cash games, more of the optimal. Patrick Bush, what's going on, my man? Doing all right. Jason Cornell, finally able to catch you live. Hey, man. Welcome, bro. Appreciate you. I'm glad you made it, man. Glad you made it. Appreciate you. Robbie Ray, more of a tournament player at this point, right? He's at home in Toronto, which is a very Buffalo, really, which is a very hitter-friendly park. Ray's numbers are legit. Robbie Ray is just having an awesome year, probably a career year. But he's playing Boston, very tough opponent. Boston, a 103 WRC plus against lefties with a 326 WOBA, a 168 ISO, and a 21.3% K rate. 21.3% K rate versus a 31.9% K rate of Robbie Ray. Should be a good one. Julio, Urias, whatever. Also very good numbers. Not taking anything away from him. Playing a Giants team that could be tough on lefties. Giants currently have a 104 WRC plus, 323 WOBA, 172 ISO, 22.2% K rate. So I'm going to continue this list, but anyway, spoiler alert, there are really 2 offenses that I think are going to soak up the majority of the ownership. And so I think to get different in tournaments, you may have to attack one of these pitchers in these so-so matchups. Just going to throw that out there, a little foreshadowing. Sandy Alcantara, numbers aren't as good as they were last year, playing a tough Washington team. Washington, especially right now, they seem to have hit a stride offensively, and they're playing really well. Creeping up the list in WRC plus. 22.5% K rate's always been low. They're not really a team that strikes out a ton, right? But Alcantara is, by name anyway, one of the better pitchers in the slate. Though this season we haven't seen that. As far as cheaper options go, I think Logan Webb's numbers stand out, right, in this range. Look very good. 3.03 xFIP, 3.43 Sierra, 25.4% K rate, 59% ground ball rate. The drawback here is he's playing the Dodgers. Second highest, tied for the second highest with Toronto. WRC plus against righties, 22.4% K rate. It's a tough one. And he's 8-8 on DraftKings. He's not even that cheap. I lied. Dylan Ceesay, his numbers this year are really good. K rate's highest it's ever been. He's at home in a hitter-friendly park against a Minnesota team that's been tough on righties. 22.7% K rate is low. 179 ISO is pretty solid. 319 WOBA, 101 WRC plus. And those are the top pitchers. Like, except for McCullers, they all got relatively tough matchups or sketchy matchups to say the least. So you can see how McCullers' ownership is going to rise. Right. Top offenses. So I mentioned there are two that really stand out. I'm going to discuss three because there's one of them that I like, but there's two that stand out. Number one is the Blue Jays. Blue Jays against Garrett Richards. The Blue Jays would have been popular if the game would have played on Tuesday night, assuming there was no weather implications at all. So now on a smaller slate, they're going to be chalky as fuck. The issue is pitching, right? I talked about the prices. People that don't want to play them, it's going to be because of the pricing. And there's a couple of different ways you can go. We'll talk about that in the what to watch. But yeah, expect Toronto to be very popular. Next is the Astros. Astros currently out there putting up runs. Eli Morgan looks like he's been a little unlucky, but still a 54% fly ball rate, a 42.9% hard contact rate, and they're playing Houston, right? Houston, I think, put up 8 runs at least. The game is still going on as we do this, but they put up like 8 runs. So people see that, right? I'm not the only one that sees that. So expect Houston to be very popular as well. Though those two offenses, I think, like, they stand out and on a ridiculous level. That doesn't mean that's where we want to go in tournaments necessarily. If you do go that route, you're going to want to get different with pitching somehow. You're going to have to anyway. If you're doing full stacks of those teams, probably going to cost you some money. You're going to have to find ways to get creative. The third team I'll mention that I'm kind of interested in is the Chicago White Sox against Michael Pineda. Pineda has not looked as good this season coming back from an injury. Small park. Some familiarity. Pineda's a pitcher these White Sox have seen a bunch. And I think the White Sox have a balance of pricing. You can find guys that are a little bit cheaper, I think. Well, I haven't looked at the pricing of the hitters yet. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Although, I got it, right? I think I got it up here. We can take a look together. This is it. So being at Anderson and Abreu are obviously expensive. Moncada's 4.5. He's one of the stud hitters, so to speak. Goodwin only 3.8. Garcia 3.7. You laugh, but he's got BVIP. Sheets 3.2. Collins been playing like catcher 3K. So they got ways you can make it work. Jake Berger 2,300. They got ways you can make the pitching work if that's what you want to do. So yeah, I think the White Sox are the ones that I'm hoping doesn't stand out a ton to other people, but definitely stood out to me. And we're still talking about a pitcher that has a 41% fly ball rate so far this season. Again, in an friendly park. Things to watch. So if you want to save money, whether it be pitching or hitting, then you may have to decide what you're going to do with this Texas-Detroit game. Because we got Jordan Lyles against Matt Manning. Two shitty offenses, let's be clear. These are both right-handed pitchers. The Rangers... What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eighth worst WRC plus against righties. With a 298 WOBA, 156 ISO, 24.4% K rate. Detroit tied with them for the same WRC plus against righties. Almost identical numbers, 302 WOBA, 151 ISO. However, they do have a higher strikeout rate at 26.7. So you're going to have to make a decision up there. I don't think I want to pitch either of these guys, to be honest, but it's early and I really have to. I got to see what my teams are looking like. But if you're trying to stack Toronto, if you're trying to stack Houston, the good players anyway, you may have to do something dirty like that. That's all I'm saying. Even if it's just getting different, but I'm curious to see which way the ownership goes. But right there, what to watch right there. Another interesting offense, Eric Fetty, who's shown upside at times, right? Playing Miami. Something to keep an eye on. Either Miami bat's going to go very low owned and very cheap and go off, or Fetty Wap might have himself a good little game at low ownership because people don't like this guy. Rightfully so, he sucks. So it's an interesting slate. And again, I still think that we're going to see one of these pitchers that are decent that we talked about in the top pitcher section kind of get lit up a little bit. So we'll see if we can narrow it down by the time I write my article later on. The Court Plays article I write at WiseTake.com, another plug. And we'll see what Paulie thinks with his dirt sheet. We'll have to wait and see. Dong Watch, and we're out of here. Vlad Guerrero, number 1. He's got the BVIP against Mr. Richards. Jordan Alvarez, getting some Astro exposure there with Jordan Alvarez. And then I'm going with some White Sox action. Tim Anderson, whose numbers are ridiculous against Pineda. We're going to hear some ridiculous shit. I'm going to read them to you. Tim Anderson is 12 for 18. That's right, 12 for 18 with 3 doubles, 3 homers, and only 3 strikeouts against Pineda. We're talking about an 842 WOBA and a 667 ISO in 18 at bats. Maybe love averages kick in and you know, he goes 0 for 3 or whatever against them. But I mean, shit, ride the hot streak, right? I guess so. Anyway, Nation, that's going to do it for us. I appreciate those of you that were able to catch us live. I appreciate those of you that listen after the fact. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit it on your way out. And don't forget to check us out at WiseTake.com to find out where we end up, where we land. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.